Chloe, this time I'll tell you a bizarre and sad story I heard from Korea about a single pair of old rubber shoes. Can the resentment of the dead truly linger in the belongings they leave behind? This story is from a long time ago, back in the 1960s. There was a peddler of gomusin, traditional Korean rubber shoes, named Deok-su. In one particular village he frequented, a strange thing had been happening for several months. A thief was on the loose, one who only stole women's rubber shoes. Thanks to this, Deok-su's business, at least in that village, was always doing well. One market day, after finishing his sales, Deok-su stopped by a jumak, a traditional tavern, and heard a strange rumor from the villagers. They say that rubber shoe thief is the ghost of the widow who threw herself into the stream. All the rubber shoes in town started disappearing right after she died. Everyone laughed it off as a ghost story, but a few days later, a local taffy seller was caught as the thief. Deok-su thought, now that the culprit is caught, my business here is over. But a few days after that, he heard an even more incredible story from that same taffy seller. Truth is, I never stole anything. A little kid kept bringing me brand new rubber shoes every night, asking to trade them for taffy, so I just sold them. According to the child, someone would leave the rubber shoes in front of his door every night. As strange as it was, the taffy seller, curious, went to the child's house, only to find it was an empty, abandoned ruin. At first, Deok-su thought the taffy seller was just making excuses. But that night, unable to contain his curiosity, he secretly went to the abandoned house where the child supposedly lived. And there, he witnessed an unbelievable sight. From the pitch-black darkness, a strange woman in sobak, white mourning clothes, appeared, quietly placed a pair of rubber shoes in front of the ruined house's gate, and vanished like smoke. The next day, the terrified Deok-su brought the police to the abandoned house. While searching the dilapidated building, they found a single rubber shoe with a talisman attached to it under a floor beam. The police immediately brought in the owner of the house, a traditional herbalist. But the herbalist, the moment he saw the rubber shoe, began to tremble like a leaf in the wind and confessed everything. It turns out, a few months prior, a widow from the village had found a wild ginseng root. Overcome with greed for the ginseng, he tried to assault her, and in the struggle, she lost her life at his hands. To stage a perfect crime, he threw her body into the river, and to make it look like a suicide, he left her rubber shoes by the riverside. But from that night on, the very same pair of rubber shoes he had left by the river began to appear in front of his main gate every night. No matter how far he threw them away, they were always back. Terrified, he finally went to a shaman, and following the shaman's instructions, he attached a talisman to one of the shoes and sealed the vengeful spirit by burying it under the floor beam. But the resentment of the wrongly deceased widow had broken through that seal. She would steal new rubber shoes from the village each night and placed them at the abandoned house, trying to announce her presence in any way she could. The rubber shoes that only the child could see were in the end the sorrowful footprints of her vengeful spirit. Chloe, a resentful death, and a pair of old rubber shoes. Were all these bizarre events truly the work of a widow's vengeful spirit? Or was it all just a story, woven from the terrifying hallucinations of a guilty herbalist and the rumors that circulated through the village?